for Italian. I'm going to go to one of the real Italian restaurants on Long Beach Island because they are the best. Not that Olive Garden doesn't have, their specialties that everybody loves. That is absolutely true. But there is one of our favorite restaurants on Long Beach Island is a specialty in Italian food. It's called, what is it called? Raimondo's. We went there. It's a restaurant that was right down the street from where I lived in Chip Bottom. And the line out the door of this place every night is unmatched. I mean, it's a tiny little restaurant. And I had always wanted to try it, and I never had. And it wasn't last year. I think it was the year before. My husband and I went finally to give it a go. And it was the worst thing we ever did because we loved it. And it was so expensive. Excuse me. So we try to go there once in a while for a treat, maybe once a summer. They're open year round, I think. They might close for a little bit in the really, really cold months. But, and then they have just limited days in the off season. So it's nice that we can go when it's not super crowded. We haven't been this year. I'm not sure if we even went last year. I actually tried to get a waitress job there, and they didn't hire me. I'm holding it against them a little bit, but I'll probably go back because I wanted to get a job there waitressing because I've heard that they can make like $300 a night. I might have given up my day job to work that. It's pretty damn good if you ask me. So moving on to the topic of the day. I posted this late last night on the Hopefulist page, which, by the way, I have started a group. I'm going to try and man both of them at the same time, but I'm going to try and lead people towards the group, and then maybe in a little while, not at first, but lead people and focus on the group a little bit more. I've been reading how groups is the new way to go when it comes to Facebook with advertising and collecting people. And, well, collecting people, that doesn't sound very good, but you know what I mean. Gathering followers and people to join your group. They're saying that that's the new way to go. So I have a couple hundred people on my Facebook page, the Hopefulist. I think I'm at 288 right now, which is I'm pretty happy with. I would love to see it grow, obviously, but I started this group just yesterday, and I apologize if I've been sending out tons of notifications and are getting on your nerves. I'm sorry. I don't mean to do that. I'm just trying to set everything up, and it will calm down, I assure you. So we'll put on my blog post, my podcast, and probably a question of the day. So those three things you should see from me on a daily basis. Other than that, maybe, something positive quote, something uplifting. We'll see. But if I was annoying you and getting on your nerves with sending you a little too much stuff, don't unfollow me. It will calm down. I promise you. So on the topic for today, I found a news story with chicken nugget ice cream. Yum. No. I'm wondering how my niece would like this because she's one of the huge ChickfilA fans. She loves chicken nuggets. Loves chicken nuggets. Now, my sister already chimed in, so I know that she is not someone who thinks this is a good idea because her response was nasty. Okay. And I know that she loves Chick-fil-A as well. I don't know if she loves it as much as her daughter, Becca Reba. I don't know what to call her. I do prefer Reba. So I would like to know if she would give this a go because she just loves Chick-fil-A. They don't say what kind of ice cream it is, but it's one of those newfangled type where they roll the ice cream, they spread it out on a really cold surface, and then they put chopped up chicken nuggets in it, and then they roll it into separate little rolls, and then you get a cup of the rolled up ice cream. I'm not sure what kind of ice cream it is that is holding the nuggets, but then they top it off with 3, I guess, regular size nuggets on top. To me, no thanks. Again, it's like the pickle splits. Why do we need to put a pickle in a banana split where the banana should be? They don't go together. Now, I had thought about this later after I talked about the pickle splits. I guess pickles and ice cream, that's the thing that the pregnant women have always said that they crave. Again, I've not been pregnant. I can't tell you that I've ever craved pickles and ice cream. It's something that's been discussed for many, many years. So maybe it is a thing. Maybe it's just folklore. I don't personally know anyone who ate pickles with ice cream. If they did, they haven't discussed it with me. But people are not loving this chicken nugget ice cream. Diane says, no thanks. Teresa Ann says nothing. I guess she's speechless. She had nothing to say. She just kind of chimed in with her name. Canoli says, ugh, that is just too much for me, with a really sick-looking face. Marcy says no. Karen says yuck. And Linda says, I don't think I would like it. You should try salted caramel chocolate-covered pretzel ice cream at the Manahawkin ice cream shop. It is delicious. It sounds delicious. The only question I have, is it chocolate-covered pretzel in vanilla or salted caramel ice cream? Because I'm not a chocolate ice cream fan. So if the ice cream itself is chocolate, I probably won't like it. But if it's just the chocolate-covered pretzels in a lighter type ice cream, I probably would like that a lot. There is a flavor that Breyers has that's like salted waffle cone or something like that. It's in like their, what do they call it? Like their section for Sundays, like, the ones that they make up. It's really good. And whenever Breyers goes on sale, because we don't buy Breyers unless it's on sale because it's very expensive, I always get that salted waffle cone or something like that. Excuse me, it's called, and it is very good. It is delicious. And before I go to the Manahawkin ice cream shop for the salted caramel, I definitely have to get to Skipper Dipper because we missed out on that last weekend, and hopefully we will get there this weekend. On to my blog post, we're talking about respect today and the respect that you need to demand. I posted up a quote with the blog post. There isn't a single person on this planet who is entitled, that is, to treat you like crap. Remember that. So yesterday I was talking about how we talk to ourselves. So you can tell yourself you're the greatest person in the whole wide world, but if you have someone telling you that you are worthless on the side, talking to yourself in a nice way is not going to make a bit of difference. You should never, ever allow people to call you names or talk down to you. I know this is easier said than done, but you ultimately teach people how to treat you. And if you're already in a bad pattern, you have to reteach people how to treat you. You have to teach people that you are no longer that doormat and that you're not going to stand for their BS anymore. If you're already in that pattern, there are ways to break it. But the best way to start is just on the right track. Let people know immediately that you are not someone who is going to take their BS. So how do you do this? By being self-confident, by acting in a way that gives off the vibe that you won't be disrespected. If someone attempts to treat you badly or put you down, now people usually start off with something small to kind of test your reaction to it, to see if they can get away with it. And if they do, they move on to bigger and better insults and put downs and all of that stuff. You let them know in no uncertain terms, no matter what they say to you, if you feel that it's rude or it makes you uncomfortable, you tell them it's not okay. You don't talk to me that way. I'm not going to stand for it. This goes for everyone in your life, from your parents to your spouse, to your children, friends, people that you work with. If it's a boss, that can be a little bit of a problem. I'm not really going to tackle that issue today. If you've got a bad boss, I recommend looking for another job. I know, easier said than done. But bad bosses can be a little bit of a stickler. But let's start with your parents. Obviously, you don't have much of a choice when you are a child. And if you're brought up in kind of a toxic environment where you don't know any different, you might not even realize that you're being treated wrong or in a way that you shouldn't be treated. And it's going to be difficult to change. But once you do realize that you're being made to feel bad about yourself, and there really isn't a reason for it, like if you're kind of being a jerk and you're being made to feel bad about yourself, then you probably should feel bad about yourself. But if you aren't doing anything that you feel that, you should be treated badly for, then you need to send a message that treating you like that is not okay. The best way to do this is by turning the tables. Ask that person how it would feel to them if they had someone treating them the same way. Sometimes that's just the little spark of recognition that somebody needs to go, oh, you know what? I probably wouldn't like it if someone treated me the way that I'm treating you. Sometimes it helps. Sometimes it doesn't. I've talked about my relationship with my mother before. Wasn't the greatest relationship. Now, I tried to tell her how she made me feel at times, and she never really did anything to change that. My mom passed away about 1.5 years ago, and I've had a bit of an epiphany recently. While visiting my sister, she had mentioned that she was a little offended at first that I kept saying on my radio show that I was in a really good place in my life and I felt really happy for the first time in a long time. She thought it was a little disrespectful to say how happy I was now that my mother was gone. The interesting part to me is I never put those two together. It never even occurred to me that I was now in a happy place and saying that I was in a happy place because my mother was gone. But when she brought this up to me, I realized it probably has a lot to do with why I feel happy and a lot better about myself. As sad as that is, I think the biggest issue for me personally is I don't now have someone constantly letting me know how much I disappoint them. I no longer am being made to feel like a bad person or a bad daughter. And maybe I was a bad daughter. I really did the best that I could with the type of mother that I had. And I just can't beat myself up for it. I think that I really tried. I'm not sure if she did the same. But if someone is making you feel that way, my advice is to cut them out of your life. This is my advice. I don't always take my own advice because I don't know if I would have ever been able to do that with my own mother. I don't know if I could have been at peace knowing that I just didn't have a relationship with my own mother. I think it would have always eaten away at me. Like, why can't we make this work? Why can't I have a relationship with my mother like everybody else seems to? I understand it can be difficult to cut ties. I'm not telling you what to do. What I can tell you is, though, that not feeling the constant judgment has been extremely freeing to me. I never realized how being made to feel like a bad person affected me on a daily basis. I mean, I just don't feel that judgment anymore. And it's been like a huge weight off my shoulder. And like I said, I didn't even realize that one had to do with the other. But now that I think about it, it absolutely does. When it comes to your spouse, I hope you married someone that thinks you are the world and tells you how wonderful you are. I know that's not always the case. I have me a hell of a good man, and I think he jokes about my nagging sometimes, but I know that he thinks I'm great and supports me in everything that I do. I've even heard through the grapevine that people have said to him, oh, gosh, I don't know how you put up with her. And his response is, she's not that bad. Yeah, I'm not that bad. I mean, come on, people. Don't say things like that to my husband. It's terrible. But before my husband, I certainly had my share of bad boyfriends who treated me like crap. Now, if they are calling you names or bashing you straight out, it is time to get out. Once this behavior starts, it is really hard to change. I've been there. I've had boyfriends in the past that were not even, just calling me names, or they were just very manipulative in the way that they put me down. I was dating this one guy. I thought that he was cheating on me, and I knew specifically who he was cheating on me with. And he said he would never cheat with that girl because she had acne all over her face and how gross it was. I had acne too. But when he said that, it really did stop me cold. I honestly thought to myself, I guess I shouldn't bring up the fact that I have it too. Maybe he hasn't noticed. Yeah, it actually worked to shut me up in the moment because it just kind of stopped me cold. But as the relationship progressed, I brought up that conversation to him and pointed out that I had acne too, and I felt this was his passive-aggressive way of putting me down. Not only kind of putting me down, but letting me know that I was so lucky that he chose to be with me even though I had horrific and disgusting acne. And his response was, I never said anything about your acne, did I? Again, very manipulative. Yeah, worse, actually. You made me feel bad about my acne while pointing out how disgusting it was to get yourself out of trouble for cheating. And I did find out later he did indeed cheat. So be very aware of what people say to you and how it makes you feel. If somebody's making you feel uncomfortable or bad, especially on a regular basis, you need to just think about that relationship, reevaluate it, and decide if that's in your best interest. So you are the boss of you. This is the ultimate thing that I want to get across to people on the daily basis. You are the boss of you. You say how people treat you. If they don't treat you right, then they shouldn't get the right to be in your life. A little story about people that you work with. My last partner liked to kind of feel superior to people, me especially, and he would kind of talk down to people.